the face of this failing economy, more people are recognizing the need to build a new economy to take its place. One where people and planet come before profit, where the rewards of productivity go to the people who do the work, where communities are enriched, not stripped, by businesses that are rooted in place. An economy built on the principles of cooperation, sustainability, and solidarity, not competition and exploitation.
Southern Grassroots Economy Project.
That we are organizers, but we are also cooperatives. And I think that has been very difficult work, because when we started to organize ourselves, we never thought that we could form a cooperative. The co-op started to form out of necessity for income. So it was very difficult for Fuerza Unida to come together and to be able to fight for our rights as workers who had been fired by the Levi companies. This is when NAFTA came into place, so it wasn't about Fuerza Unida. It wasn't just Levi's, it was many workers. This is 1990 that we're talking about. There was almost 10,000 unemployed workers in San Antonio.
My name's Carlos Perez Alejo, and I'm here on behalf of Third Coast Workers for Cooperation, which essentially helps develop and support worker-owned green cooperatives in Austin, Texas, through co-op development, training, education, and movement building.
I work specifically around the environmental justice area with the Roots of Change Community Garden, which was started 4 years ago out of a victory with Ready Fuel, another fuel tank on the east side. So we decided to do a space, a positive space, as an example and as a need for more of these spaces around the east side, as well as around food sovereignty, and as well as around, the spaces of food desert. So we decided to do this, and out of that, over the past 4 years, last year, 14 family farms, these families have been with us since the beginning. They were like, well, now we got to start, moving on, and we want to do our own garden. So then that's where the co-op model came in.
Carolyn Pittman, I'm with the Georgia Citizens Coalition on Hunger. Our mission is to end hunger, homelessness, and poverty in the state of Georgia.
And a huge unifying theme was the economic necessity for this, the theme of jobs, jobs, jobs. People are doing this because the old economy just isn't working to create the jobs, that there aren't enough jobs, and the jobs that there are don't have dignity, they don't pay well enough, and the working conditions are troubling.
Empowerment or organization. People seem to feel that it's important that communities have the power to decide and do for themselves. There seems to be a really, really clear concern for community that grew out of a lot of the discussion. But an economy that does place the importance of people and the environment and communities and the creation of new things and new ways of looking at things at a higher level than the one that we find that we're stuck with right now.
In North Carolina, some women tried to start a tortilla co-op, but there were problems with the distribution and actually the product itself and the demand for it. And the co-op it didn't move forward because the underlying economics didn't make sense. And that's okay. It's okay to fail.
The climate and what's going down in Wisconsin right now, how we could use that as an opportunity, because I think like you were saying last night, everybody can see themselves. These are everyday folks. These are white working class folks that are being directly affected by this stuff. So
the Federation was started in 1967.
The Federation is a service, resource, and advocacy organization for a membership of about 75 cooperatives and credit unions throughout the Southeast. We have a training center in Epps, Alabama. Our membership is primarily composed of African American family farmers who are trying to hold on to their land and use it productively.
in Knoxville, we have a cultural center collective that has been working for a year now to create an East Knoxville, which is the poorest section of town and the most diverse section of town. A cultural arts center that will hold cooperative live workspace for artists, performance space, work studios, recording studio, rental space, workshop space. The rental space will be for nonprofits, job training and production opportunities, and a restaurant and a bookstore using green methods.
In my country, because of the free trade agreement, because of NAFTA, foreign governments pushed us to immigrate, to leave our country, to leave our land. And that's why we're here, and that's why I'm here. Because everything that we have, it's finished. So we need to look for a way to survive, and that's why we come to the United States.
They started a summer leadership program for young people from the area where Levi Strauss closed. So it's the south and west sides of San Antonio. And so a lot of the ladies who are members of the organization, their grandkids, are now participating in the Summer Youth Leadership Program.
I'm Suzanne Farr, and I'm one of the organizers of this meeting of grassroots, Southern Grassroots Economies here at Highlander this weekend. I feel at home here because I'm once for 5 years was the director of Highlander, and so this setting is a place where we really build ideas, and that's what's been happening this weekend.
But what we looked at it more was the overall structure of what needs to happen to really bring these local economies to scale.
How do we kind of facilitate the demonstration of commitment to this process? Like how do we engage it and structure this so that we're clear about each other's commitment?
We can build up each of our organizations and our businesses so that then when we go back to our communities, we actually have some solid skills and we can fill in the gaps in our weak areas so that we can start implementing these things in our communities. We also talked about the need for us to be together collectively and actually think this thing through because we need a coordinated strategy.
One of the proposals is like how we had like the People Movement Assembly. Yes. Like to have like a cooperative movement assembly around the South. Like so it just won't be like one cooperative going to one state, and it can be like it can be a gathering of cooperatives and everybody can learn from everybody in a certain way.
Southern Grassroots Economies Project.
Call 44551-717, 7817. I'm sorry, but we do a lot of whole things. Rake, disposal, mulching, consulting, everything. We the youth. We everything. You trying to scare me?